Imagine you have a universal remote control at home. One device to manage your TV, AC, music systems, and even your lights. Simple, right? But what if I told you there's a universal remote for AI applications, allowing them to easily connect and interact with hundreds of external tools without hassle? That's exactly what MCP is. Welcome back to our channel. Today we are deep diving into MCP, Model Context Protocol. By the end of this video, you'll clearly understand what MCP is, how it works and where you can use it. We'll also clarify how it differs from TCP or Transmission Control Protocol, which is currently widely used in softwares. So let's jump right in. MCP or Model Context Protocol is essentially a standardized way for AI clients like automation tools or code editors to communicate with external servers which offer data, tools or services. It acts like a universal adapter, much like a USB port on your laptop, that lets different systems interact smoothly without custom integration for each tool. Think of your laptop and its USB-C port. Whether you plug in a printer, external drive or even a camera, they all work seamlessly because of a universal standard. MCP works the same way. But instead of devices, it connects AI models with various digital tools and resources. MCP follows a straightforward client-server architecture. Here, client typically means an AI application or an automation platform that needs external capabilities. And server could be a lightweight service providing specific tools like web search, database access, etc. Communication occurs using structured JSON messages. It starts with an initial handshake, similar to introducing yourself to someone new, where both parties agree on a protocol version and available functionalities. After this handshake, clients and servers exchange clear, standardized JSON requests and responses, ensuring both sides always understand exactly what's happening. The LLM, for example Claude, is the MCP client. It wants to perform a task, like searching the web, looking up a document, or querying a database. It connects to an MCP server via the MCP protocol. The MCP server returns a tool manifest, which is just a structured document, usually in JSON format, that tells the LLM what tools are available for use, like search, get documents, etc. What each tool expects is some parameters, input types, and maybe some more details. Now, how do we use those tools? We need to provide descriptions and constraints, and maybe some more details. The LLM reads that manifest and understands how to structure the request. It then sends a properly formatted call, again using JSON, to the MCP server. The MCP server then performs the actual task like calling the real API, querying a database, etc., and returns a response. The LLM interprets the result and weaves it into its response to the user, like summarizing the data, making decisions, or taking another actions. To give you an example, you can ask your database, "Hey Claude, what's our sales last week?" Claude checks with an MCP server connected to your database, and the server says, "I have get sales data tool. It needs a data range and region." Claude builds the correct JSON request, sends it to the server. Server runs the query, returns the data. Claude then formats that info and responds, "Your sales last week in the US were $12,000. All of that happened using MCP behind the scenes. To summarize it all, yes, MCP is a standard protocol that lets LLMs query tools using the structured interactions by first discovering what's available and then making calls, with no need for LLM to hardcode or guess how tools work. MCP provides three key capabilities to AI clients. First, prompts, predefined templates guiding AI responses. For example, a standard format for emails. Resources, read-only data like documents or databases to provide accurate context. And lastly, tools, functional actions that AI can request, like searching the web or creating tickets. Imagine having a toolbox filled with ready-to-use tools. MCP enables an AI to effortlessly pick and utilize the right tools whenever needed. To give you a practical example with workflow automation in N10, a popular workflow automation platform. With MCP, anyone can connect seamlessly with any external service without needing separate integrations for each. For instance, you could use MCP to query an AI for information, automatically send messages via Slack, or fetch files from a system, all without custom code. How does it compare with TCP protocol? Now let's quickly clarify how MCP differs from TCP, a protocol you have probably heard about. TCP, or Transmission Control Protocol, ensures data packets are reliably sent and received across networks, like a courier who guarantees your package arrives safely but doesn't care what's inside. MCP, or Model Context Protocol, however, focuses on structured and meaningful interactions, handling the context and content of communication, like knowing exactly what to do with your delivered package, unpacking it, and using it correctly. TCP guarantees delivery. MCP ensures that delivered information is understood and actionable. Imagine ordering pizza through different apps like Alexa, Google Assistant, or ChatGPT. Without MCP, the pizza company must create separate integrations for each platform. With MCP, the pizza company can offer a single standardized pizza ordering server, letting any AI-powered app connect seamlessly. The user simply asks the AI to order pizza, and MCP handles the rest, effortlessly bridging the gap between AI and real-world services. In summary, MCP is like a universal plug-and-play system for AI applications. It simplifies complex integration, allowing seamless communication between AI and numerous tools. You can use MCP for automation workflows, AI-enhanced customer service, quick integrations with databases, file systems, web services. Understanding MCP helps you harness the full power of AI without unnecessary technical complexities. Lastly, what's the connection between MCP and Claude? Well, Claude is currently main public user and testbed for MCP. In other words, Claude is an MCP client. It uses MCP to connect to any external tools, APIs, databases, etc. through standardized servers. Anthropic developed MCP to solve the issues of giving Claude or any AI model structured real-time access to tools and knowledge without needing custom plugins or ad hoc integrations. Think of MCP as the protocol and Claude as one of the smartest users of that protocol. Anthropic's own documentation and demos heavily feature Claude as the model interacting with MCP servers. I hope this cleared up exactly what MCP is, how it compares to TCP, and finally let me give you a quick tour of the official documentation of MCP. So modelcontextprotocol.io is the official page where you can know everything about MCP. MCP is just an open protocol that standardizes how applications provide context to LLMs. Now let us understand the general architecture or functioning of MCPs. Now let's say you have your host here, which could be Claude, ChatGPT, or other LLMs. You request Claude to book you a flight. Now Claude then checks what all services are there, like Atlantic Airways or maybe Deccan Airways or just Skyscanner, which is an aggregator. It checks all those and first requests to understand their API structures or tools available by them, like book flights maybe, or just know the timings and what is the schedule of flights, just that. So it understands what all tools are available for use, and it then selects the schedule tool to get the schedule. So this client, maybe Skyscanner, it returns the exact format of the API which needs to be recalled, right? So then host structures that format. It enters the destinations like New York or maybe Mumbai to Delhi, and then sends the request to this MCP server. This is the second contact. Now MCP server then checks in its database, or basically just calls the actual API which it has, and understands the status or whatever data there is. It just returns. The data is then forwarded to the host, which is visible on our Claude or ChatGPT. Now if you wish to book or go ahead with one of the flight, you can then ask the GPT to book that flight, and that request will again be sent to MCP server, which will then book the flight for you. So that is how the structure works, or MCP general architecture is, and this is really helpful. We have those many different components of MCP, which is MCP hosts, which will be like programs, Claude desktop or IDEs or AI tools that want to access data through MCP, right? So if you build a software or a website of your own, that could be another MCP hosts. MCP clients could be Claude, could be ChatGPT. MCP server is just a lightweight program that each expose specific capabilities through the standardized MCP protocol. Now, your local data sources, your computer files could be used by MCP to maybe you can give it a secure access to query the questions and get some answers. Remote services could be external services available over the internet, like for example through APIs. MCPs can connect to those. So that's all there is to know about MCPs. Now if you want to know my opinion, MCP surely makes job a lot easier. I've been a developer for more than 7 years now, and one thing which was very time consuming was to understand how the APIs are available, what APIs are available for every service. For example, if I wish to integrate Claude with my application, I'll need to understand how to query or send requests to Claude. But the next day, my client changes his mind and wishes to use ChatGPT. I'll have to understand how the API structure is of ChatGPT, will try to implement that in my code, and then that may accompany many more changes above and below that part, just to manage, because the structured response which we receive from Claude could be different from ChatGPT, could be different from other LLMs. So that was the most time consuming part, which I have always complained about. Yeah, but MCP promises to resolve that. It promises to, or what it does is just let AI or ChatGPT or Claude to understand the structure itself and then work with it. So I do think it will ease the job, but I wouldn't say it's revolutionary or it's a breakthrough which will change everything. It will surely make some jobs easier while services adapt to MCP one after another. I guess for now there are like few 15-20 services, including GitHub, Brave browser, or a few more services which I know till date, which is available for, which has their MCP protocol, which has integrated their services with MCP, and they are providing their tools descriptions through MCP. And going forward, we'll come across many such services for sure, but it wouldn't cover everything, because there will surely be many more services or applications which are not that popular or not that widely used, or it's just for a specific niche they are used, so they might not provide MCPs. So we'll still have to stick with the traditional method which is always there. But what MCP is doing is, originally when developers like me used to go through documentations, understand the structure, and then think what input to provide, all this is done by ChatGPT. So it is easing the task, but I wouldn't say it's a breakthrough, but it is helping developers like me and for many more who are just learning, who have just started programming. So this will ease a job for them by many folds. So that's it. That's all the opinion about me. If you like this video, if you like how the explanation of this concept, and if you think this will be widely used in the future, yeah, thanks for watching the entire video. Do hit the like button and subscribe to our channel for many such videos, and share it with your friends, tell them about MCP, and until next video, stay tuned.